then your answer would make sense. I would say I hat cross j hat is k hat, but we have j cross I.
Negative k hat?
Yeah. So you put your hand in the direction of the first vector, j hat, so that, and your fingers curl towards the second one, thumb points in the direction of the product, which is into the board, negative k hat. I did skip a step there, so let's see. So this right here is that number, and we have to figure out what omega is. Well, I can figure out I know the speed, I know r. If I know speed and the distance from the axis, how do I find omega? Or what is the relationship between v and omega? We potentially first introduced when we did centripetal motion. We have used it since. Yeah, so
V equals R omega.
yeah. I know R, I know V, so omega is V over R. So the magnitude, omega, the initial, is going to be my speed, 8 meters per second, divided by R, which is 0.45 meters. Say it again?
3.6 should be.
3.6?
Yeah.
Or 36?
Wait. Yeah.
No, that doesn't seem right either. It should be something between a little more than 16, I would think.
Oh, yeah. I did that. I times it. Yeah, I times it.
Okay.
17.7 repeating.
17.17,
7 repeating.
7 repeating. That would be radians per second. Now to figure out the direction, because we are talking about a vector here, well, it's the same as we've been doing. I've got my thumb is on my axis, which is either pointing out or in, and it's rotating underneath, so it would be in. So omega is negative 17.7 repeating k hat radians per second. So now if I multiply I here times omega, I suspect I'm going to get 0.124. Or not, something's off. Oh. Put there. Multiply a factor of 10 somewhere, I think. Oh. Well, it's 1/4. No, that works. Over 8. Okay. Oh, God. I keep looking at comparing the wrong things. Jeez. So if I multiply my moment of inertia times my angular velocity, I should get 1.8 in the negative k hat direction. And it should come out pretty darn close to that. All right, building up the excitement here. What is the total initial angular momentum? Not a trick question.
17.7.
No, that was the initial angular velocity or angular speed of the ball.
So what'd you ask?
Initial angular momentum, total initial angular momentum.
Would it be the 17.7 times the mass of the ball?
Times the point,
Not times the mass of the ball.
times the 0.124.
No. That's the rod.
Oh.
All right, let's recap here. Conservation of angular momentum. I have two objects, so this is L rod initial plus L ball initial is equal to L ball and rod are sticking together, final. This is 0 because omega initial for the rod is 0.
Negative 1.8.
Yes. This, we found two different ways. We found using I omega and found with R cross P. Both of them produce the result of negative 1.8. That would be kilogram meters squared per second, K hat. And therefore, that's gotta be the final.
So where does the 17.7 come from?
I could find the momentum, angular momentum, either with I cross omega or R cross P. If I'm doing I cross omega, I was the 0.10125,
Okay.
and omega is the 17.7, repeating. This is just, the way, well, written here, angular speed, but in the direction you have angular
Oh,
velocity.
so that's just omega, and then
Yep.
the other one is just the inertia.
Mode of inertia, yes.
Okay, and then together is the negative 1.8.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, after the collision, I have now one object. I got a piece of putty stuck on the rod. It's not traveling in a straight line, so R cross P is probably not the simplest way of doing it. I final, omega final is probably a simpler way of dealing with it. I'm trying to find this. So we need to somehow calculate my final moment of inertia. And how would you do that? Or how should you do that? I'll take you.
You multiply or add the final moment of inertia of the ball in the rod,
You said multiply or divide?
or add.
Or multiply or add, which one? Seems like you would get very different answers that way.
I'm gonna go with multiply.
What would be your second choice?
Add.
You're gonna add, because moment of inertia ultimately is just a sum. That's what the sigma here is. You're just adding a bunch of stuff together. So you're just gonna add the moment of inertia of the ball plus the moment of inertia of the rod. So this will be the moment of inertia of the ball plus moment of inertia of the rod. And the ball, we found out to be 0.10125. And for the ball, 124.124. And so I have 0.22525 kilogram meter squared. So the math problem I'm working with here is negative 1.8 equals 0.22525 omega final. I guess officially there's a K hat here. I would expect omega to be less than 17.7 repeating.
Would,
What'd you get?
would negative 7.9911 make sense?
Yep. K hat. Let's squeeze some units in here. That would be radians per second. Sorry, spoiled it.
What is the unit for the LBI? The negative 1.8 is that
That's
kilograms newtons?
kilogram meter squared per second.
Okay.
There is no one word unit for it.
What's like the biggest conglomerate of units that we can put together?
For which there is no shorter version.
Yes.
I mean, you could always tack on a bunch of stuff that cancels out. Is it this one? In 152. You'll end up, there's a Newton meter squared per Coulomb, which is basically same number of letters as, or very similar to kilogram meter squared per second. Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, you can come up with bizarre stuff. You can always throw inches per foot in there. But, and then a factor of 12 would show up. Feeling challenged on the test to come up with some passive-aggressive answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it so complex you come to me for help and I can change my answer.
Thanks for the warning. All right, questions? All right, so what we probably should do now is figure out when you're gonna do that multiple choice test again.
Like one first day of class?
Yeah. 21st sounds good to me.
We're doing that already.
Pardon?
We're doing that already? I thought it was gonna be like, well, I guess like,
No,
well,
It's not a test, it's not a test, it's just a multiple choice thing.
Well, I mean,
It's gonna be graded though this time, right?
yeah, it is graded this time.
Is there test corrections on it?
No.
Do you wanna see how we did on the first one?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you the number out of 30 that you got right.
Yeah, I've been
Did
wondering
anyone
that
get
this whole
over
time.
15?
Pardon?
Anyone get over 15?
I don't remember actually at this point. The average was not over 15.
couple another week after that though, right?
Say it again?
Do we have another week after that?
Yeah.
We have,
Are we just not gonna do test 4, or are we gonna squeeze it in?
No, the day of fourth test.
Okay, I was just asking.
So when it says 3 and test 4 gonna be,
But that's test 3 right there. That multiple
oh,
choice thing.
multiple choice test 3?
Yeah, that's test 3.
Okay.
That's just,
Okay.
And when it says 4 gonna be like the next Monday?
the last day of class.
Yeah, or the last, we'll figure it out when we get closer.
So what is the multiple choice test? I wasn't here for that.
It's just purely conceptual. Basically Newton's laws. I mean, the bulk of it is chapters 2 through 6. All conceptual.
I think the first pass test you have for the 1A test, like 2012 or something, is the same.
That's the multiple choice.
That or it's very similar.
There are probably some questions on it that came from the multiple choice, but I hope I don't have the multiple choice test posted.
Test 3 is the 21st.
Or we could move it up earlier. I mean, as far as studying for it goes, it's testing whether you understand the concept. And, not 100% sure how you study for it.
Pay attention in class.
Yeah, okay. Do you wanna move it up to the 14th?
14th? Oh,
No,
the,
next week?
we could do like the 18th if everybody's like,
And that's not gonna, it takes 45 minutes.
oh,
I said 21st is fine. When would test 4 be then?
Whatever
Or the 30th?
yeah, I'd have to see when the semester actually ends.
The 2nd is the last day.
Is that a Friday?
Wednesday, no, Thursday.
how many weeks after this one? Is it 4 weeks left? Or is it?
I think this is week 12.
All right, the 2nd is a Friday,
Yes.
so that's when the last test will be, unless it snows that day.
We have 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Well, this
This
week.
is the fourth
Very
one,
dangerous
okay.
hurricane.
That also, we have not dealt with that yet. I have not dealt with that yet. Oh, actually, I did. Hurricane Hugo, we had school called off for Hurricane Hugo.